Israel's top security officials are convening to assess the new threats mounting on Israel's northern border. The past few weeks have been a tumultuous, bloody time for the region, but rest assured, Israel is doing everything that it can to stay one step ahead of its enemies. Prime Minister Netanyahu's security cabinet is now discussing two massive developments. The first and perhaps most pressing is the growing Iranian presence in Syria. Russia and Syria have already signed a deal to create a buffer zone along Israel's border to keep Iran away. But Netanyahu has reportedly promised Syria that Israel will carry out attacks on any Iranian targets that come within 25 miles of the border. The second concern is the political disarray in Lebanon following the Lebanese prime minister's sudden resignation. And then ever more surprising, reversal. That incident nearly sparked an international proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Lebanon. Hezbollah, of course, is a major player in Lebanese politics, and just yesterday, the head of the UN even warned that a fresh Israeli-Hezbollah conflict might very well be on the horizon. Meanwhile, the dust is still settling in Israel's southern neighbor, Egypt, which just suffered the worst terror attack in the country's history. We're hearing that Israel is now sending military support to help Egypt fight the Islamic State. It's unclear for now exactly how much aid this will be, but sources say it'll likely take the form of Israeli drone strikes. At this time, 305 Egyptians have been confirmed dead in this weekend's tragic attack when terrorists bombed and opened fire on a mosque while prayer was in session. The Palestinian reconciliation effort seems to have hit a major snag. Hamas had agreed to sign over all control of Gaza to the Palestinian Authority by December 1st, and we're just 4 days away from that deadline now. But according to a top PA official, Hamas still controls over 95% of the Strip. Well, with us to explain is ILTV's Brett Allen Smith. Now, Brett, where are things at right now?
Well, look, no one expected this reconciliation to happen overnight. But obviously, this isn't exactly a promising sign, especially considering the fact that Hamas and the PA were just in Egypt for a 2-day marathon of negotiations, which now appear to have staggered to almost a halt. But maybe the most troubling sign here is the PA's civil affairs minister's claim that Hamas is blocking tons of PA operations that are needed to legally transfer power. I mean, fundamental things like collecting taxes, having PA employees physically working out of the offices in Gaza, all the way up to those big picture issues like security aid and leadership.
Well, that's kind of the domino that we're all waiting to see fall, how Hamas and the PA will reconcile the issue of Hamas's army, since Hamas refuses to lay down its weapons.
Sure. I mean, given how slowly things are going now, I'd say that'll definitely be a critical obstacle for real Palestinian unity. I mean, look, by now, Hamas had promised to dissolve its governing body in the Strip. The PA says that that hasn't happened. Hamas promised to totally turn over the Strip by the 1st of December. We're 4 days away from that, and the PA says they only have less than 5%. So clearly this is going to be a process, if it really comes true at all, as you'll see now in the report.
A top official in the Palestinian Authority has slammed Hamas for allegedly dragging its heels and handing over Gaza to the PA. Progress in the ongoing Palestinian unity efforts has had its ups and downs over the weeks, but now it's looking like the December 1st deadline to completely relinquish power will not be met. According to Hussein al-Sheikh, the PA's Minister of Civil Affairs, Hamas has actually blocked essential financial, administrative, and security measures required to legally transfer control as promised. Hamas, however, totally denies these claims. A senior Hamas spokesman has tweeted that al-Sheikh's words were in bad faith, even going so far as to call them part of an Israeli conspiracy against Hamas. This echoes similar accusations by Hamas that the United States was attempting to stall Palestinian peace, though many believe these are merely the excuses Hamas makes when it refuses to compromise on peace. With a deadline looming and many critical issues still unresolved, there's a long road ahead for a true Palestinian unity.